Good day class, thank you very much for clicking this video. So for today's discussion, we're going to talk about cyber digital literacy. So I have here a dilemma. After swimming a class, a student who was given consent by her classmate took a video of the latter in comfort room while changing her swimsuit. Suddenly, the video came out with the student's nude body and was viewed by many, including her family and friends. Being affected by such malicious scandal, the said student's family immediately confronted the school to hear explanations from those concerned. Upon investigation, they found out that the one who took the video had mistakenly passed the button on the cell phone, marked video share, made it accessible to all accounts registered in the contacts right away, which caused its immediate spreading. Who do you think is the main liable on this issue? The girl who allowed someone to take the video of her nude body, or the one who caused its widespread? Justify how should this matter be resolved? So remember this type of dilemma class is really common ngayong mga panahon na ito. So for your answer in this one, I want everyone to give their opinion on the comment button of this on the Google Classroom. Now let's define digital literacy. According to UNESCO, digital literacy is the ability to access, manage, understand, integrate, communicate, and evaluate and create information safely and appropriately through digital technologies for employment, decent jobs, and entrepreneurship. It includes competencies that are variously referred to as computer literacy, ICT literacy, information literacy, and lastly, media literacy. Moreover, it is also an individual's ability to access both information and methods of communication through technological tools such as smartphones, tablets, laptops, desktop PCs. While digital literacy is initially focused on digital skills and standalone computers, its focus has shifted to network devices including internet and the use of social media. So technically class, kung before, nakafocus lang siya kung paano gumamit, paano gamitin, at ano dapat gamitin pag po tayo gumagamit ng tablet, laptop, at mga computers. But then again, just like what I told you, habang nag-evolve ang technology, nag-evolve din ang needs ng mga tao. So of course, nag-advance ating technology, we are now being introduced sa ating internet and the use of social media. Thus, one of the very important thing na dapat matutunan ng tao is paano magkaroon tayo ng tawag ating etiquette. Mamaya, mapag-aaralan natin yan. Cybersecurity naman, For cybersecurity, it's the practice of protecting system networks and programs from digital attacks. These cyber attacks are usually aimed at accessing, changing, or destroying sensitive information, extorting money from users, or interrupting normal businesses. Now, tips on how to protect yourself against cyber threats. Ngayon kasi class, sobrang uso talaga ngayon tinatawag nating hacking, di ba? Meron kung napapansin niyo sa mga phones niyo, actually ako naka-receive na to eh. Though di naman ako naglalaro ng tinatawag ng scatter, I don't play that one, but I always receive their advertisement on my SMS. So imagine that is my personal number. I don't give out my personal number sa iba, pero they have it. So meron talagang cyber threats na nagaganap. And I'm not aware kung paano po siya nangyari. So, of course, bilang isang mga normal netizen, na minsan hindi natin alam kung paano mag-handle nito at kung paano gagawin moving forward para makaiwas ng mga uling text. So, makinig po tayo. So, first, monitor behavior on social networks. Second, keep devices safe. Third, understand how best to use passwords. Fourth, handle unsafe content. And fifth, consider safety for the future. Now, class, the use of passwords, hanggat maaari, we don't use our name, last name, or anything na related sa atin, yung madaling access. For example, birthday, di ba? Ito ginagawa to ng ilan, gumagamit ng phone number para sa kanilang password. You don't use your phone numbers para po sa yeah, so I'm so sorry for that one. Now let's continue. Now, how to make your own password. So personalize it. Pwede kayo mag-isip ng mga favorite characters niyo, pero not too obvious naman, 'di ba? Pag nakalagay sa banner ninyo si Pikachu, lagay nyo password si Pikachu, di ba? So, ibang mga character, mga string ng words na, or description, kung ano parang yung describe sarili nyo. And of course, ngayon yung mga password maker ngayon, gumagamit sila ng mga signs, symbols, so of course you can use that one. Now, cyber citizenship. Citizenship is an old value that is now applied to a new medium, the internet. Cyber citizenship refers to being responsible when using internet. Doing online when no one's looking speaks a lot about one character and morals. The power of this digital world is associated with responsibilities and consequences. Therefore, we can explore and navigate all information available online. However, we should observe cyber citizenship or manners and etiquette on the web. Alam natin na napakadaling i-access ang internet at any phone, anytime, anywhere, di ba? And of course, we can see as well yung mga nangyayari do sa ating kapwa cyber citizen. So we should be responsible on how to interact again sa amin dyan, yung manners natin and etiquette natin sa web. Hindi yung pa nakita tayo ng bagay na ayaw natin, magko-comment lang tayo basta-basta, sabihin natin, ay ang pangit naman ng damit mo. So ano maramdaman ng kinomenta mo, di ba? So masasaktan sila. So of course, kailangan natin magkaroon ng magandang manner pa rin at itawag nating netiquette on the web. Yan na po. So, ways on how to be a good cyber citizen. So, makinig, importante po ito sa lahat. First is be careful and critical to whatever you post online that could be visible to a public, even if on a private page through tagging. So, of course, ayan, alam natin lahat to. So, kailangan, pag magpo-post tayo na kung ano man, dapat wala kang sinisirang tao. Order, hanggat maaari, ay iwasan natin ito ating fake news, misinformation class. Okay? So, be careful. If you have problem with someone, makinig, go to that person or an adult to help work it out. Work it out instead of posting your expression online. Pansinin nyo, di ba? Pag may mga taong magkagalit at isang ginagawa, magpunta sa Twitter and then magpaparinig. Sabi mo, nakakainis yung gatong tao. Dapat makatulong nito is tinatanggal sa trabaho, mga ganun mga bagay. Ang malalapanan, i-mention pa sa comment section. That is actually a really toxic behavior pagdating po sa ating cyber world class. Hindi siya magandang ugali. Now, if you have a problem with that someone, you don't need to look for bad blood. Ibig sabihin nun, hindi mo na kailangan magandang kakampi online. You handle that one in mature manner, diba? In a good manner, personally. Okay? So, hindi yung sabihin nyo pa, ay, amin putok yung katabi ko, nakaraan. Kilala nila yung katabi mo. So, anong masabi nila? Masaktan yung napagsabi ng mga putok, tapos ikaw, parang sasama pa yung tingin sa'yo ng mga viewers mo. So, yan. For example, So, if you're familiar with this one, nagkabanggitan ng pangalan, pinagtanggol ko ng sarili ko. Itong si girl, nagre-rehearse kami ng dance, inagaran ba naman ako ng position and whatsoever. Tapos yan, So, of course, kung familiar kayo sa away na ito, I know you know them. So, we should avoid kung paano po magsalita online. Para hindi yung nagkakasiraan tayo. So, both side, ayan, bad tignan. Number 3, use the internet to help you with your schoolwork. But give credit to the sources you use and critically analyze everything you search online. Kasi nga, ayaw nga natin magkaroon ng misinformation. Especially na ngayon, yung ating information ay one click away lamang. So, imagine mo nag-post ka ng ganito o trivia. Ang tao tumatangkad every day by 1 centimeter. Do you think that is true? Diba not? Kasi kung everyday 1 centimeter, dapat nasa ceiling na ako. So, of course, you need to search thoroughly muna and fact check kung tawagin baga before you post it online. And of course, kung anong pinasa mo sa online, madalas kasi nakaka-influence na pag-iisip ng tao. So, of course, give credit to the sources and critically analyze everything you search online before you post it. Okay? Use the internet purposefully to learn more about anything you are interested in, to help you in research relevant and needed data or information, and to stay connected with friends throughout the world. Technically kasi, itong si internet, nagawa po siya initially for communication on how we can reach out to our friends. So, yung mga unang mga platform, like, tawag dito, I forgot this platform, no? Yung parang sinaunang Facebook. Wala ako nun eh. So, sinisa ng Facebook na yon. The purpose of that one is to share information, to share kung ano ginagawa mo within the day. At the moment, I'm here sa mall, eating donuts, mga ganun mga bagay. Okay, so, of course, habang nag-i-evolve ang tao, nag-i-evolve ang pangailangan nila. Ngayon, ang internet po, ginagamit na po natin, not just for communication, but for research purposes. Okay? Yan nga po. Number 5, make sure you verify information before you share it or use it in a project, and check on accuracy and truth in the information you search on the web. Ayan. Ulitin ko ulit, fact check po muna tayo. Number 6, give out certain information only. Ito yung tawag natin, over naman sa share, 'di ba? Ngayon, pwede naman mag-post like kung nasaan ka, here at the moment sa Boracay, ganito, ganyan. But then again, it would tip off some bad person or some bad people na walang tao sa bahay nyo. Diba? Especially pag yung bahay nyo pala, hindi nyo alam, tinitiktikan na pala ng ibang mga masamang loob. So, hanggat maaari, ako ginagawa kasi, after ng gala ko pinopost yung aking mga gala. Ganun. After gala. So, para hindi po kami ma-compromise po pag wala kami sa bahay. Number 7, don't answer the question that make you uncomfortable. Ito, pag may napansin kang tao dito, yung mga questions sa mga feed mo, tapos di mo ka lang yung tao, uy, nasaan ka? Ang ganda naman yan, 'di ba? If yung mga kanong tanong, tapos hindi ka komportable, tapos mag-isa ka lang sa bahay, do not answer na anymore, okay? You can just ignore them. I-kick mo sila. Number 8, always make sure you have told a liable adult if you decided to meet someone you knew through the internet. Ito another over naman sa share class. If you're going to talk about your personal life, hanggat maaari yung surface lang. Name, birth date, diba? Ang gusto mo, pati yung birthstone mo, birth star mo. Pero yung mga family problems or yung mga naging background mo, mga naging exes mo, you don't need to share it through the internet na. Especially pa napag-usap ka sa someone na di mo nakita personally. Okay? So, avoid those. Pa kasi gamitin yan against sa'yo pag nagkaroon kayo ng, of course, any misunderstanding. Number 9, always be aware of copyright laws and give credit to whom the article of part of it's due. Of course, ayan, isa-cite natin yung may-ari ng totoong owner. Wag naman yung CTTO, yung credit to the owner, diba? Wag naman yung ganun. Ayan. So, ayan yung ating Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines, also known as Republic Act 8293. Number 10, use only the computers that you are allowed to use and avoid hacking. Okay? Ngayon, if you have computer room, di ba, pansin niya, merong computer sa unahan. For authorized personnel only, huwag yun na gamitin. So, avoid computers that's not not yours. Technically, pag gumamit ka ng computer, hindi yun naman sa'yo, di ba? Ang mangyayari niyan, baka mamaya mabirusan pa yung account mo, magkaroon ka pa ng magkaroon ka pa ng anything na ma-damage yung mga files mo. So, yan. Next is importance of cyber citizenship. First is it keeps the internet free from hurtful statement. Okay? Pag ikaw ay isang responsible cyber citizen, of course, you know how to handle yourself online. Kung paano magsalita, paano mag-post, paano magbigay ng comments. Number 2, it creates a culture of more reliable information. Number 3, it gives provision for people who to be given credit for what they have created. Number 4, more criminals or bullies can be caught when kids are honest and talk to adults. Number 5, it keeps information private. So, di naman tayo lahat dito isang public figure. So, keep everything private na lang as much as possible. Okay? Ako nga, sa internet, sa aking Facebook, for ano lang, wala pang 500 yung friends ko. Kasi gusto ko yung mga friends ko sa Facebook lang, yung mga personally kilala ako, yung mga ganun mga bagay. Pero I don't usually, accept talaga immediately yung mga taong, mga kakilala ko lang one time. It's for my privacy rin naman. Yan. Let's now go to our proper netiquette. First is make sure you have the correct address with proper spelling, correct link, and you are sending information to right person when doing it online. Of course, yung mga wrong send, 'di ba? Yung tipo nag-screenshot ka ng chismis tapos na-send mo yung screenshot ng chismis din dun sa tao rin na pag-chismisan niyo niyo, nakahiya 'yon. So make sure din na tama yung sinesend mong information dun sa tamang tao. Baka ma-wrong send tayo. Number 2, check information before sending or posting in any message to avoid false statement. Ulitin ko, kayo ay mga EDUC students, kayo ay may alam kung paano disseminate, kung paano mag-fact check ng mga bagay-bagay, and use those ability para po makapag-send tayo o makapag-post tayo ng factual information, hindi yung false statement. Okay, nakakahiya naman pag nag-post kayo ng ganon, di ba? EDUC student kayo. So, ayan. So, for this one, I received your booking. Tingin mo, papatulan kita. Ayan. And wrong consequence. Ayan, yung mga ganang mga bagay rin. Mga wrong send. So, iwasan din natin yan. Though, honest mistake siya. But then again, it's part of the netiquette then to always double check para kanina yung message na yun. So, you should practice that one as well para to avoid wrong sa yung mga mishap sa wrong sending. So, number 3, read it what you wrote to make sure it's what you want to say. And the other person would interpret it the same way. So, ulitin natin, iba-iba ang utak ng tao, iba-iba ang pag-interpret ng tao sa mga bagay-bagay. So, hanggat maaari, huwag ka na magtula-tula o kung ano magkaroon ka ng mga tongue twister, mga pag-iisip po yung mga tao kung ano bang nais mong pahiwatig. Dapat sabihin mo na siya direkto o direkta. Okay? So, ayan, for example, this one. Ang hirap isipin na habang kami nakahiga sa malambot na kama, kagigising lang at naka-aircon, ang daming bata, matanda na di alam panligtas sa Bicol dahil sa bagyo. So, I know that you know her, this person, this post, diba? According to her, just wanted to show the simpatya para dun sa mga naapektuhan ng bagyo dun sa Bicol. But then again, if you would look at it dun sa kanyang first 3 lines, diba? Parang meron siyang binabrag niya, ay buti na lang ako may aircon, buti na lang ako may malambot na kama, pero naawa ko sa inyo mga taga Bicol kasi wala ko inyo, paano ko iligtas? It's bad, diba? Imagine meron siyang gustong iparating na awa, pero but then again, yung ginawa niya is not a good netiquette para sa ating cyber world. Okay? Number 4, keep your comments clean and don't confront others online or anything that could be harmful to them. Ulitin ko po, wag na po kayo mag-shout out ng mga taong kagalit ninyo online. Yung ipopost nyo pa yung picture, lagyan nyo ng edit, lagyan nyo ng bunging ngipin, or kilalang tao dito, kilala kayo dito yung magbibigay ng code name, yung mga tawag, palayaw kung sa Tagalog, no? You're giving code name to that person. For example, itong si Tawas, di ba? Tinawag siyang Tawas kasi may ganito. So, avoid those, okay? Ito pag kasi nalaman niya ng taong pinaparinggan ninyo, masakit para sa inyo. May dalawang maganda sa bini. Ayan. Dalawa lang maganda. Pangit lahat daw. Kilala nyo profile picture, you know them. Hindi ko sisabing pogi ako, pangit din ako, kagaya nung 6. Ayan. So, pinaparinggan niya, technically. Number 5, keep your personal and friends information private. Don't forward information tapos given to you without their permission. Ito pag kunyari sa party kayo, 'di ba? With your friends, sa party kayo, may lumapit na guy. Oh, I wanted to have your friend's name. Anong pangalan niya? Ikaw bilang isang good friend at good netizen, 'di ba? Huwag po tayo magbibigay ng pangalan ng ating friends. Kahit sabihin mo best friend kayo. You don't give out any information, private information that includes name or anything sa di nyo kakilala. Maliwanag? Especially pag walang permission na lang. Sabihin mo, I'm so sorry, I don't give out her name. Sige, you ask her directly na lang. Ganon. So, kasi nga, ulitin natin, para sa safety mo at safety ng mga kaibigan mo rin yan. Number 6, watch out for spam and other fraud emails and never reply to them. In my personal experience, this is one of my biggest mistake. Diba? Ang mga phishing messages ay nasasend sa akin. Meron akong dating email address. What happened is that I accidentally click one link. That very one link accessed all of my information. That's why binagbabago lahat ng password ko, pinaayos ko yung mga banks ko. So, pag sa spam folder nakalagay yung email na yon, wag mo nang pansinin. Kasi matalino, smart na ngayon kasi si Google, si Gmail, si Apple Mail, si Yahoo, si Microsoft, si Outlook. Matalino sila pagdating sa pagdetect ng phishing. So if they put an email sa spam, do not click it. Okay, delete it hangga't maaari. Those are fraud. Ayan. Pansinin nyo ito, ayan. Yung mga ganyan, yung mga manalo ng iPhone 14 Pro, ang dami ko na-receive na ganyan. Promise. So, wag niyo i-click yung link na hangga't maaari. What I'm doing is that I delete it and report it as junk. Para yung same phone number na yan, hindi na siya mag-send sa akin kung ano man. And ito, dito na mas gumagaling yung mga phishing attacks. Yung mga link na mga ganyan, yung mga ganyan text, tandaan natin, hindi nagsisend si BDO or any banking application ng message, ng email, unless for confirmation of payment yan, or receipt. Pero hindi nagsisend, ulitin ko ulit, hindi po nagsisend ang mga bangko ng any messages or emails except receipts o resibo. Pag naka-receive ko yun ng ganyan, naghihingi ng OTP o sinasabi na, uy, we've detected unusual login on your email, on your bank account or BDO account. Click this link to change your password immediately. Huwag nyo nang i-click. Maliwanag? What you're going to do is to call your bank right away to confirm. Pero I can assure you that banks here in the Philippines will never send you any messages or emails except for receipts. Ito rin yung mga ganyan, no? Ay, kuya, ito rin bagong roaming number ko, pengen po pa yung load, wag na. Hindi nyo yung kilala. Number 7, if you're going to write something personal or private, think twice because messages can get misdelivered. Iwas natin yung wrong send. Yun lang yun technically. Number 8, adults should monitor kids' messages, especially when they are sending emails to others without permission. So, ito nga po, malay nyo, itong mga anak ninyo, itong mga kapatid ninyo na kababata, diba, biglang marong send. May masend na something o any sensitive file sa ibang tao. So, you should monitor them as well. And technically, of course, monitor nyo inyong mas nakabatang kapatid kung paano gumamit na kanilang mga gadgets. Ayan. Number 10. Ito, sa ulo nyo ito, class, ha? The 10 Commandments of Teacher, Cyber Citizenship. 10 Commandments nila. Number 1. Thou shall not post any personal matter, confidential information, and obscene picture and messages online that can be accessed by the student and parents. Okay? Wag na wag kayong magpo-post once again. Actually, hindi applicable dito sa lahat, eh. No, bilang isang teacher, Huwag din tayo mag-post na kung ano-ano online, including obscene pictures. Number 2, those shall not respond or thread to any information messages created by student online or other those school related. Ito so pag kayo merong, di naman maiiwasan na meron kayong friend, pag kayo teacher na, may magiging friend kayong sa Facebook ng student mo, dati mong student, diba? Huwag na kayong mag-comment dun sa mga post nila. Sabi nila, at sabi ng student, uy, namimiss ko na uminom, tapos comment pa, tara dito. Bawal po yun. Baka mapagalitan pa kayo. So, do not interact anymore to your students online. Unless for school related lang yan. Okay? That's why I only reply pag may mag-ask lang ng sir, kailan deadline ganito ganyan, paano po yung gawin ganito ganyan. Hindi po ako nag-reply, sir, nakawin na po ba kayo, nakakain na po ba kayo, wag po replyin yun. Number 3, those shall not lend or let student access your phone. Maraming guilty ganitong teacher, especially sa akin previous school. Alam mo yung phone ko na yan, that is a personal belonging, di ba? Bakit yung ibang teacher hinaayaan ni may students nila lumawak ng phone at nagsiselfie pa? 'Di ba? Class kayo din. Kayo ay student pa lang. Do not touch your teacher's phone. Bawal niyong hawakan 'yon. That's a personal belonging. Aside from that, kung kayo mag-internship na, huwag niyo yung hayaang mag-selfie yung mga estudyante niyo sa phone niyo. Maliwanag doon. Kasi if you let your student touch your personal belongings, technically, you're giving them permission to invade your personal privacy. Diba? Personal space, rather. So, iwasan natin yan. Number 4, thou shall not give your email password to students. Technically, huwag yun ang gawin yan, Kahit sino pa yan, student man yan o co-worker, wag po. Number 5, thou shall not use concept and information from text and reference without the author citation, of course. Proper citation for our teachers naman. Number 6, thou shall not repost or to any social media account for whatever purpose the pictures of student without their or their parents' consent. Maraming guilty rin dito na mga teachers, 'di ba? That there is a reason why hindi ako madalas nagpapa-picture. Bawa randomly, 'di ba? Sir, pa-picture sir, out of nowhere papa-picture ka, hindi po ako nagpapa-picture po. Nagpapa-picture lang ako pag mga last day ng klase, first day ng class, and of course, pag may event, 'di ba? Pag may nanalo sa event, nagpapa-picture. And ako, never pa ako nag-post ng mukha ng estudyante ko. Kahit yung paalam, kahit yung nag-internship ako, di pa ako nakapag-post ng mukha ng estudyante ko. Because I always take care of their privacy. I am a very private person. So, alam ng mga dating previous students ko yan na hindi ako nagpo-post ng mga picture ng estudyante ko. Number 7, thou shall not express sentiments, disappointments, and disagreements against superiors, colleagues, students, and their parents using their social media accounts. Ayan, wag na po magpaparinig. Maliwanag. Yung tipong, uy, si supervisor naman, ang daming utos. Nakakapagod siya kay gumawa. Or si student, yung student ko na to, ibabagsak ko to. Kasi ganito ganyan. Wag na po. Pananakot na po yun, no? Number 8, thou shall not use data from internet sources in any document like lesson plans, researches and requirement without the consent of the author. Ito yung nagnanakaw ng mga ginawa ng iba. Especially research paper, thesis paper. Wag po na po tayo magbalak na magnakaw ng thesis paper online. Those are published na. At pag na-detect nila yan, baka ma-revoke pa yung kung ano makinukuha mong mga lisensya. Number 9, thou shall not give any personal data or other information to anyone unless for specific purpose and given the consent. So, not just your data, pati data ng colleague mo, data ng student mo, bawal po tayo magbigay kaagad. So, pag may ganito lumapit na other sections na, ma'am, ang ganda po ni ganito, ma'am, ano pangalan po nun, huwag niyo bibigay ang pangalan. Maliwanag po tayo doon. That is still your student's personal data, name. That includes their name. So, wag mong bibigay. Maliwanag? So, number 10, thou shall not post any student data publicly online, including academic rankings, school records, class outputs, and record of grades. So, technically, alam naman lahat ng mga teachers to future teachers, di po tayo dapat nagpo-post ng any pertinent papers or any documents na pwede mag-leak ng student data, and that includes school records, yung grades nila. Pipicture mo, eto bagsak to, meron 74, proud ka pa, diba? So, iwasan natin yan. At hindi mo natin iwasan, wag talagang gagawin. Okay? Now, let's go towards the internet safety. Internet safety, online safety, or cyber safety means trying to be safe on the internet. It's maximizing the user's personal safety and security risks to private information and property associated with using the internet, including self-protection for the computer crime. As number of internet users continues to grow worldwide, issues and concerns also continuously exist. Sensitive information such as personal information, identity, and passwords are often associated with personal property and privacy and may present security concerns if leaked. That includes your name, class. So hanggat maaari, be mindful of clicking any links, providing any personal information. I have 2 phone numbers, class. I have my personal phone numbers and I have my work number. And I only give out my work number, not my personal number. Now, let's go towards the common causes of information security breaches. First, ito yung sabi ko ito kanina pa, word na phishing, di ba? Yung phishing, PH po yan, di pa yung phishing na isda, no? It's common type of scam or which these scammers disguise as trustworthy source in an attempt to obtain private information such as password, credit card information, etc. through the use of fake website that look identical and legitimate. So, yung kaganina, yung example ko, yung BDO, di ba? Those are type of phishing. At sabihin sa'yo, uy, may nag-login na account mo na ganito, kindly click this link to change your password immediately. Do not click it. Okay? So, call your bank and try to confirm first with them. Kung ano yung email na yan. Okay po, kasi ulitin ko ulit, hindi nagbibigay ng email or ng any email si banko at all. Except for receipts lang. Next naman, internet scams. These are schemes that deceive the users or various way to attempt to take advantage of them. Yung mga advertisement, ganun 50% off, just click this link, just watch this video, just watch this ad. Diba? Yung click mo yung ad para magkaroon ng discount, hindi po yung totoo. Scam lang po iyon. Mag-charge kayo ng malaking yan. Next is malware o yung mga virus kung tawagin. It is a malicious software, particularly spyware, disguised to collect and transmit private information such as password with the user's consent or knowledge, of which it is impossible to determine whether file is infected. Ito yung mga virus sa computer, diba? Pag nag-download kayo ng file, actually, buti naman at si Google Chrome, you can turn on the security, diba? May security option doon to detect or to scan a file if it has malware. So, pag nag-pop up na may malware, tawag nyo nang i-download, please lang. Those are malware. At si malware, napakahirap niyan. Pag naapektuhan si computer mo ng malware, walang ibang choice kundi i-delete, i-reset yung computer mo. Ayan o. Isa sa mga kilalang malware o virus sa buong mundo, ayan, pinakabonggang malware is yung, ayan, I love you virus. Diba? At ang nakakatuwa pa yan, itong I love you virus na to, class, Filipino ang nagpakalat ng virus. So, itong the I love you virus or yung love bug or love letter virus, ito yung May 2000 siya, around May 2000, in which, of course, really disrupted yung US, yung mga PC natin noon, including the US. And, actually, na-damage niya yung, na-infect niya yung halos lahat ng Windows computer worldwide. Ayan. So, I love you virus, no? Next is personal safety and threats. So, the growth of the internet gave rise to the many important services accessible to anyone with connections such as digital communication. It is the use of the internet or other electronic means to stalk and harass an individual, group, organization through false accusation, defamation, slander, and libel, intentional monitoring, identity theft, threats, vandalism, solicitation for sex, or gathering information that may use to be threatened, embarrassed, or harassed. So, ito yung cyberstalking ko tinatawag. So, yung cyberstalking naman na to, class, ito yung isa sa mga personal safety threats. Ito yung pag merong nag-chat sa inyo, nakita kita pa uwi, naamoy kita, katabi kita kaganina, nakakatakot yung promise. So, report them right away. No? So, ayan. Or, another cyberstalking naman, yung tipong, magka-comment sa post mo, ay, andyan ka na pala, andito ka na pala. So, walang tao sa bahay ninyo. Mga nakakatakot po yung mga ganun, no? So, do not interact with them anymore. Ayan. Next is cyberbullying. Very matunog. It's the use of electronic means such as instant messaging, social media, email, other form of online communication, internet to abuse, intimidate, or overpower an individual or group. Now, class, cyberbullying is really rampant today. Diba? Yung i-mention pa yung tao, i-bombard mo siya ng message. Bakit mo dapat i-boy? Ganon yung maganda mga bagay, no? So, wag na po tayong pag-interact. At pag meron po nag-post na nag-cyberbully ng iba, iwasan na po natin. No? Iwasan natin. Para tayo madamay. Okay? So, sorry. Ayan. Next is online predation. It is the act of engaging an underage minor to inappropriate social relationship through internet. The behavior characteristics are categorized into 3 groups. Okay? First is manipulative, typically a child molester. Opportunist, typically a rapist. And third, the coercive. Ito po yung pinagsamang both rapists and child molesters class. Very, diba? Very, sobrang may issue nito, no? Yung tipong may, of course, kailangan nyo i-monitor yung mga nakababata yung kapatid, baka kung sinong kausap nila, baka mamaya na ayun, uy, tara, kita tayo, gusto mo ba ng candy, gusto mo ba ng aso, bibigyan kita, punta ka dito itong lugar. Okay? So, those, mga minamanipula na pala, mga pinapain na pala, may masamang mga balak. So, please monitor yung mga activities ng mga nakababatang, tawag dito, online users. Next is obscene, offensive content. Various websites on the internet contain material that may deem offensive, distasteful, or explicit, which may often not to be one of the user's liking. So, pwede naman siya ma-filter to depend sa mga social media account depending on your preferences. So, napifilter naman siya. But then again, of course, you should not post any obscene or offensive content pa rin. O, in my opinion, di ba? Maganda ba? In my opinion, ganda dapat ganyan. So, yung mga ganang mga opinion. So, alam ko may opinion lahat ng tao, pero hanggat maaari yung opinion na yun, no? Makatotohanan. And of course, saan po makatotohanan, hanggat maaari, yung tawag dito, yung mayroong mag-a-agree sa'yo, may papanig pa rin sa'yo. Ayan, no? Ito, palagi ito eh. If there is a chance, there is always a link. Diba? Yung mga obscene na comment, no, you should avoid this type of comments. Next is sextortion. It employs non-physical form of coercion to extort sexual behaviors from the victim. Often this involves cybercriminal posing as someone else, such as an attractive person initiating communication of sexual nature with the victim. Sextortion. Ganito yan ang senaryo. Actually, laging ganito nangyayari sa balita, nakakaawa. Ipagkakalat ko ang sex video nating dalawa, bibigyan mo ako ng 50,000 pesos. That is sextortion. Okay? And if you know someone experiencing that type of tawag dito, crime, di ba? Hanggat maaari, ipagbigay alam agad sa mga pulisya. Okay? Ayan, ito eh. Guro na inireklamo ng extortion, timbog. So, kayo mga teacher, alam ko marami kayong kausap na kayo mga kakausap ng mga batang estudyante, no? At the first place, hindi na kayo dapat magkaroon ng any sexual relationship with them. You should not do it. Hence, of course, should not do any sextortion as well. Kaya ang lisensya. Next is for surfing the web. So, accessing credibility. Different websites accessible on the web can make the job of researchers very challenging. Carefully evaluate the information researched online. Consider the credibility of trustworthiness and reliability of the content before taking it. There are two types of website. First is informational website, usually strive to offer credible content to users. Number two, commercial website, often present to inaccurate information in order to see something. May dalawa siya sa taas, si GMA News TV at si SMNI. So, alam ko na familiar kayo sa baba, di ba, si SMNI, at again, of course, kay GMA. So, hulaan nyo lang kung sino dyan yung madalas nagbibigay ng misinformation. Next naman is checklist or credibility of criteria. So, paano ba nalalaman kung credible ba yung inyong binabasang material? First, it's si author, di ba? Kung kayo nagbabasa ng any health-related na mga information, are you going to read a website na in-author ng isang lawyer? Di ba no? No, hindi naman sa pag-alaman lawyer, di ba? It's just that you need to look for an author that is really reliable and swak na swak to sa kung anong kailangan mo. No? At sa kung anong field na alam nila. Okay? Next is date. Hanggat maaari, updated pa rin. Kasi nga yung information, ulit ko sa inyo, yung word na information, nag-e-evolve yan. Nag-e-evolve ang knowledge ng tao, agad na nag-e-evolve ang technology. Nag-e-evolve din technically ang needs. And yung date na yan, kailangan, kahit maaari mga 5 years. 5 years ago. 10 years, sobrang tanda na nga nun eh. Number 3, purpose. Para saan? Diba? Baka mamaya inad ninyo information, pang-accessory lang, pandagdag lang, trivial, okay? Iniiwasan natin si trivial class. Number 4, contact. Number 5, fact versus opinion. And number 6, URL. Itong URL na to, class, na yung mga website kung saan siya nakuha, wag po sa Blogspot. Galit ako sa mga taong kumukuha ng information sa Blogspot. Okay? So, yung tipong, according to Blogspot, ganito, ganyan, hindi po ganun yan. Tapos mag-share na information sa mo nakita sa TikTok University, okay? It's not factual. So, you need to double check. Next is recognition of information sources. This can be done by applying proper referencing and citation procedures that would get rid of risk, consequences, and legal implications because of the copyright issues, which means that the ideas and words used belong to the author. Citation. So, laging ginagawa dapat natin yan. Marunong tayo mag-citation na dapat. Si MLA, si APA, ito lang dapat natin yan. Plus na, each entry in bibliography is called citation. Proper citation must be applied or included for every source used, whether it's a website, a newspaper, or a book. Online sources are cited differently because they are different from traditional print source. So, pag ulitin ko, di ba? Pag yung mga APA, MLA, pag APA ginagamit yan sa mga scientific researches, di ba? Or history, meron sa history. Pag MLA, yung mga literature si MLA. So, kailangan mo rin kayong paano mag-cite ng MLA at APA class. Ayan. Ito yun eh. Si APA sa Chicago, si MLA sa AMA. Research and data collection protocols. When researching and collecting data from the web, avoid plagiarism. Mamaya mayroon tayo dyan mga types ng plagiarism, which is the act of taking someone else's work and presenting it as your own. For plagiarism, it is unethical and it can bring you in trouble. Sometimes students don't mean to plagiarize, but they end up doing it accidentally because they are unaware or unclear about it. So even if you are unaware na nakapag-plagiarize na kayo, it is always your responsibility to double check your information. Baka mamaya meron ka nang na-copy. Okay? Here are the 10 types of plagiarism. First is clone plagiarism. It is called identical copying or copying other work without any change, claim as their own work. Ito yung clone plagiarism. Ito yung tipong word by word talagang copy-paste. Okay? Next is the remix plagiarism. Sorry. It refers to collecting information from various sources and mixing it all together. A single document then claiming the work as their own work. Ito yung example ng remix, plagiarism, di ba? It's either 1 to 2 na files o na resources. Ika-copy paste nila, pagtatagpi-tagpian lang. Yun lang. Copy paste, pagtatagpi-tagpiin, remix na plagiarism na. So pati yon dapat ni-use natin. Next is Control C, plagiarism. It is a significant portion of text copied from any single source without any alteration on the written document. Ito yung pag may specific na ano lang, no? Specific na kinuha lang na word. For example, this one, according to him, refers, yan, ganito hanggang signifiers. Ito lang din. Ang binago niya lang yun sa taas. Pero yung sa may second sentence, di niya binago. So, Control C yun. Meaning, naka-specified lang kung anong kukuhanin niya. Hybrid plagiarism. Here, perfectly cited source documents are copied and arranged as new document without citation. Ito ito yung tipong dalawang konsepto o minsan isang konsepto, isang papel, tapos tarambulin niya lang. Para siyang remix. Pero si hybrid kasi, pinagsama siya. Pinagsama and malaking portion nilagay as isang paragraph. Ayan o. See. Find, replace, plagiarism. Ito, maraming guilty nito. Naghahanap ng synonyms, no? This changing the most common keywords and phrases into copy content but making changes is initial. But making any changes is essentially document. Now, class, ito yung tipong maghahanap ka ng synonyms, kung ano man, or closest word, kumbaga. Tapos yung nalagay mo, hindi po, plagiarism po yun. Hindi po siya magandang practice. Okay? Next is recycle plagiarism. Also called as self-plagiarism. It refers to the act of borrowing from one's own previous document without proper citation. Ito yung ginagamit mo yung other research, previous research ng mga ibang tao o technically ng sarili mo. Yung research mo ng grade 10, gagamitin mo ng grade 12. Tapos yung mabanggitin, ito, naka-inspire po yun dito, na ginawa po namin, we improved it. Ganon. Babanggitin mo lang siya sa research ninyo. So, pag wala kang pinagay na proper citation, plagiarism na yun. Recycle plagiarism ka na. Yan. Mash-up plagiarism is when written document is copied from more than one source and are all mixed together without proper citation. Same as remix din technically. Next is pour over error plagiarism. Here, a person creates document by copying from various sources, prepared a single document with citation but inaccurate or leads to non-existing resources. Ito yung tipong, wala namang binanggit. Diba? Wala namang binanggit na about dito sa binanggit na phrase na to sa text, original text. Pero nagkaroon. So, pour over error yun. No, at isa pa yan is that yung mga link online, di ba? May link na www.cyrusvista.com. Pag kinilik mo, walang any domain pala yun. So, those are mga plagiarism na rin po yun. Next, aggregator plagiarism. Here, a written document includes proper citation but does not contain original work. Ayan, like this one. So, next, retweet plagiarism. All written documents look perfect with a properly cited mark, but still the document resembles somewhere in the original text structure or wording. Retweet rather. So, ito yung tipong, nag-cite ka na ganito, ganyan. But still, kahit nag-cite ka, yung pa rin yung same text na ginamit ng original. Retweet yon. Okay? So, kung tandaan nyo ba yung nag-valedictory speech, diba? Nag-valedictory speech, tapos, technically, sabi niya, at the end, tonight niya yung babae, diba? But still, it's still plagiarism. Retweet plagiarism, no? Now, how can you avoid plagiarism? Now, of course, there are several ways on how you can avoid plagiarism. And one of the very, very obvious is that always do a fact check. If you are writing something, research thesis, no, you can just simply copy-paste your any phrases sa yung gawa online and see if meron kayong kapareho. Magilid naman yan. No? So, ito pa maraming gumagawa nito ngayon. Alam ko talaga, using ChatGPT as their generating ng kanilang mga ideas at mga essays. Akong sabi sa inyo, class, alam ko kung itong work na to is ChatGPT o hindi. Kasi meron magkakamuka ang ibang work ng iba, work ng ibang estudyante sa iba, magkakamuka, especially pag student di marunong mag-prompt. Next is integrating cyber digital literacy into curriculum. First is use an interactive whiteboard to design, deliver lesson, software-based notebooks with teacher-created lesson if you're not capable of designing your own. So, of course, not just yung mga whiteboard habang habang nag-lesson. So, ito, kagaya nito, online recording. So, these are the integration ng cyber digital sa ating curriculum. Allow students to maintain blogs, wikis, webpage related to their learning. Of course, yung mga e-portfolio kung tawagin, no, you can do that one as well to compile all of your works. Para pag naghingi ako ng e-portfolio ninyo, I can just access it right away. Engage in email, video chat exchanges with student. Ulitin ko pwede kayo mag-engage na ganyan sa mga email, video chats, but then again, for school purposes lamang. Hindi mamumusta, kumusta na kayo? Nakakain na ba kayo, class? Yung mga ganun, okay? Next is utilize storytelling media to allow students to create and publish stories. Set up Blogspot, Facebook page, Yahoo or Google group to post weekly discussion, questions to students, of course, to respond. Now, class, of course, we have Google Class naman na, and I hope everyone naka-join po sa Google Class. Use video camera to dramatize stories, record scientific experiment, and expose students to video editing software to create video production. So, of course, let them produce something then. Diba? Just like what I told you earlier, definition ng cyber digital literacy, being able to, to disseminate, being able to get information online and creating new information through this same mean. Okay? Next, engaging student in discussions about how and why various media work well to showcase learning and others why do not. Thinking critically about medium used to present a message is as important as the message itself. And of course, requiring e-portfolio that would compile their output projects, messages, and photo documents, group activities and investigation. You don't need to do that one class kasi meron na tayong Google Classroom na generate po automatically si e-portfolio. Next is allow students to use digital tools such as mobile phones, iPads, and netbooks for Google searches, dictionary apps, YouTube, podcasts, and Spotify application in class to complement their learning, especially during group works and concept. Now, concept making. Now, class, of course, just like what I told you, diba? Pinaalaw ko yung maggamit ng phone to access the presentation just in case you cannot see the PPT clearly at the back. No, especially sa mga klase ko na sa S1, 103, sa mga star building, so walang kuryente doon, no? You can use your phone. Pero for school purposes lamang, like looking for the Google, validating some facts, or technically looking sa aking presentation. Next, the impact of integrating digital literacy in the classroom in teachers, families, and friends. Well, it motivates students in their learning due to their enjoyment to ease the use of various technological mediums. Of course, ang bata tuwang-tuwa sa gadgets, alam natin yan, no? Hanggat maaari, in-integrate natin yung learning together with the gadgets. Hanggat maaari, interactive pa rin. Okay? Tuwang-tuwa ang mga bata dyan. It reaches students of various learning styles and multiple intelligences. Yes, it can, of course, provide yung enhancement skills na kanilang multiple intelligence. For example, pag si student mahilig sa reading, di ba? Online storytelling. Pag si student mahilig sa mathematics, gawa mo ng Sudoku, online, gano'n. Pero yun siyang i-advertise kung paano gumawa ng Sudoku, mga ganun mga bagay. So, it allows students to create and design their own unique product reflective of their personalities and learning needs. Of course, ayan, just like what I told you, sa digital literacy, kailangan makapag-produce sila ng bagong learning using the medium ng digital. So, it encourages students to manipulate media and constructing their own meaning. Nabanggit ko na kaganina lang. It enables the student to share their learning with teachers, families, and friends. It gives students a chance to explore technological media that indirectly increase job skills needed in a workplace. For a while, I'm so sorry. And that would be all about our discussion for cyber digital literacy. So for my assignment for this one, so I will be uploading on the Google Classroom. So kindly watch out yung ating anti-cyberbullying digital poster. That is by group. Okay, I will post the grouping sa Google Classroom, so kindly wait for that one. So that sums up our discussion for today. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great day. Bye for now.